done playing with your fucking boom, Jamie?
I was trying to fix it before we got started.
Hi, everybody. This is the Lore Boys. My name's Ethan. I don't know why Peter's jumping in because I'm clearly hosting this episode. Okay, Peter.
I don't know anything about Magic the Gathering.
Peter,
Yeah.
can we take a seat here? Peter,
Now that we're all
Peter,
sitting,
take a knee.
Now that we're all sitting in the same room, everyone's just trying to jump for the steering wheel.
Yeah.
We don't know how to do this anymore.
Clearly, I'm the only one capable and competent enough to handle this bucking bronco of a show that we got going on.
Nay.
Today. Nay. Oh.
Nay.
No.
I'm 2 years old and sexually mature. Nay.
Okay, yeah.
Is that how horses work?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Boom.
That's one way to start the show, by Peter letting everyone know that he's 2 years old and sexually mature. But
Talk to your mom for 45 minutes. I know how horses work.
So I'm Ethan Palmer. This is the Lore Podcast. We don't talk about horse insemination all that much, maybe more than your average podcast, but not that much. I've already mentioned Peter's name, but if he wants to introduce himself.
Peter O'Donohue. Hello.
He draws pictures. And of course, the silent generation.
James Miller, I'm 48 hours into my current character in World of Warcraft, and it came out less than a week ago, and I've been stuck behind queues most of the week.
Yeah.
So that's where my priority's at.
That's really why he didn't say anything in the intro, is because he was just thinking about World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Well, he was behind two other hosts in queue to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Level 24 already, though, and my vacation hasn't even started. I got 15 days of vacation ahead of me.
That's pretty
Oh,
hardcore.
man.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to
Hello.
part 4 of my Magic the Gathering story.
The two-parter that went on for
The
4.
two-parter that's 4, that's not going to end where I said it would end. It's going to end a little bit before it. But this is going to be the last Magic the Gathering episode I'm going to do for a while. I have future Magic the Gathering episodes kind of like in place that I can do at any time. I know what my next episode's going to be.
Yeah, we gotta start taking requests. Eh?
We're going to, hit us up with the requests.
Of course.
And, we'll do we wanted to start polling you guys to see what kind of stuff that you're really into. We got Gundam. We have Doro Hedoro from Saucy Chimera on Twitter and Patreon.
And there's a hentai request as well.
Yeah, there was a goof, but I'm looking into it.
I'm willing to do it.
I'm kind of the hentai fan here, Peter. So,
that's true.
Little Mister didn't know what yaoi was, but okay.
Ethan has... I joked to Ethan. I sent him a message being like, in our group chat, hey, Deep Space Waifus is only $1 on Steam. Not only did Ethan buy it, but he played through the entire game.
I bought it and the sequel and played through both.
Yeah.
Was it good?
It's like kind of like a scrolling shooter. Just like a space shooter where you're piloting a ship through a bunch of enemies,
But
Oh,
you
okay.
shoot
Oh,
off
bullet
the
hell.
women's clothes.
Yeah, you shoot off the women's clothes. If you have the game and you're like, but there's no nipples or burginas, you have to go into the program folder and create a blank text file called nude_patch.txt, and then the women will be naked. So and then you'll get your burginas.
Jesus Christ, dude!
That is your Tinder bio.
Yeah. So not only did I buy the first one, I bought the first one and the second one, played through them both,
modded them,
100%ed them, and I did the patch to allow for the boobies and burginas.
And was it better?
Yeah, there's boobs and burginas.
Nice.
dude.
So-
You've invested more time into modifying your game than I have into add-ons for World of Warcraft that I've played 48 hours of recently. Yeah.
But there's no boobs or Burgina in WoW.
Well, you gotta
get the
know
right
where
mods.
to look.
Yeah, you got the right mods.
Oh, yeah.
Where to look?
Big titty dwarf ladies.
All of this to say, so
You go for night elves.
Yeah.
They have a friendlier physique.
Magic the Gathering.
for anyone just jumping in,
And they're not just all shoulder.
for anyone just jumping in, Jamie's been gone for a month. So this is our first time seeing each other's faces for a while. So I guess
Yeah.
we're a little giddier than usual. I'm also on my 6th cup of coffee, and I'm sober at the moment, so I'm fucking manic.
10:30.
The world is a trance to me. I've been playing World of Warcraft for the last 14 hours today before getting here.
Jamie and I are opposite ends of the spectrum. Where
Yeah.
he was stuck in another country. I was here. I've been socializing all day. He's been hiding in his room all day.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah.
I was with family.
Oh,
boring.
families.
So we're
Me and
maybe
my mom hanging out with some lesbians ripping up carpet.
we're maybe a little rowdier than usual, but all this to say, thank you to the people who have reached out. If you have something that you want to hear us talk about, please let us know. Like I said, I have an idea of what my next episode is going to be, but if you get at me with something better than that, do let me know. Also, shout out to Darnell. What's his name? Darnell. Just messaging us on Facebook a lot. Shout out, my man.
Yeah,
Sliding into the DMs
Yeah.
on the reg.
dude, he has facts.
Yeah.
Darnell, if you ever want to put something together for the show, I would be happy to read it.
If you want to write Jamie's script while he's playing World of Warcraft Classic, feel free, is what he's saying.
Don't start taking advantage of people just quite yet.
No, I'm saying if someone wants to just really
my
show their
scripts.
support.
Yeah.
And let me focus on the things that are important to me right now, then I'm not going to stop them from doing
Speaking of the things that are important to me right now,
Yeah.
It's this episode.
let's talk about this episode a little bit. Well, let's
get
actually start
into
with last episode. I don't know if you guys want to hit me with a little recap, what we talked about. James, you were there. Well, not there. You were in Mexico, but you were
Present.
seemingly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we left off, and Kamahl like messed around with the Mirari, which is this monkey's paw gives you bad shit, but in exchange for your wish. But usually you don't get what you want, kind of thing. So he wished for something. He put it on his sword. He wanted to be a powerful guy. He got all corrupt.
Yeah.
And then he goes home and he slices his sister. Then she gets all infected. She's filled with worms from another guy, Aquarius or whatever his fucking name is.
LaQuantus.
LaQuantus, yeah.
The dawning of the age of LaQuantus.
Yeah, so she is kind of now like, she kills Aquantus's wife at the time, and Aquantus gambles all his money away, or is that a
Not
different guy?
LaQuantus. That's Ixidor.
Oh, Ixidor, right?
Yeah.
And
Ixidor was someone else who, his wife died to Phage, which was Kamahl's sister reborn as a black avatar of death.
Right. This is after Kamahl sliced her, after she got corrupted with worms.
And she's brought back as a child of the Kamahl patriarch.
Right.
Or she has a child. She's brought back by the Kamahl patriarch, and she has this child, which is the reborn Numena Kuber.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about the Numena and what they are a little bit more this episode.
Cool.
And then Ixidor, his wife, was killed by Phage. He ends up going out into the wilderness and creating his own little land of illusions where he can create illusions. He ends up creating an angel called Akroma,
Yes.
who is like all his anger at his wife dying manifest as an angel of vengeance.
She gets crippled and then has sword legs.
Yeah, she has swords for feet for a while.
Sweet.
That's when she becomes her red printed card, the Angel of Fury, instead of the Angel of Wrath.
And the Wrath one is the white angel,
Wrath
and
is
then
white.
Phage is like the dark angel. So like they're the two opposing forces coming at each other. Yeah.
She ends up going to find him, or she ends up going to find Phage. Isn't able to kill Phage. Phage and Kamahl and some other people decide to invade Ixidor's realm to put a stop to his creations.
So you go to imaginary land to stop the
They
imagination.
kick down the door at Pee-wee's Playhouse. They're like, it's enough!
Yeah.
Enough is the word of the dead!
Phage ends up letting go of all her death worms, turns back into Jeska, then back into Phage because she takes all the death worms back inside of herself, except for the one that represented Ixidor's wife. Ixidor went off to just grieve finally the death of his wife.
Yeah.
Akroma, on the other hand, still had it out for Phage. She ends up going to attack Phage. A woman named Zagorka intervenes. Kamahl kills all three of them with a single swing of the sword because he has the power of masculine.
Good.
And
Very progressive.
they end up being reborn as Karona. Karona. That's where we ended the last episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I remember that.
The sky split. Dark clouds roiling above Averu as lightning flashed. Below, 3 women lay dead, slain by the Soul Reaper, an axe wielded by Kamahl of Otaria. The corpses, truly more like husks at this point, lay crumpled, their souls ripped from them and cast into a whirlwind, a cyclone born on the power of the women's souls, of their planeswalker sparks.
They're all planeswalkers.
They were all planeswalkers,
Okay.
yes. The souls merged, combined, and a moment later exploded. From the center of that explosion, a radiant being was born. Karona, false god.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
So, Karona, this is not the first time she's walked Dominaria. She existed once long ago, even before the Thran. The Thran, you'll remember, are the ancient robot people
Oh, yeah.
that Urza built a lot of his tools. The Silex was built from Thran technology.
Right.
The stones.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Yeah, ancient robots.
Yeah.
Ancient
Okay,
robots.
yeah. I don't have anything left, but yeah, ancient robots.
Everyone at home, any new listeners, anytime we talk about ancient robots on the show,
Finish your drinks?
we traditionally finish our drinks or just take a little sip. I'm drinking coffee, so I'm not gonna chug my hot coffee for this
It's a
one.
little scorching.
But yeah, just a little.
Oh god.
Back in our episode about the Brothers' War, that was eons ago at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
We do
And
have an episode.
yeah, so Dominaria, the plane that we're on, the central plane in Magic the Gathering, was built on Thran technology. They were an ancient race. Before they were around, Karona was around.
Okay.
And she was around shortly after the Numena rose to power. So the Numena, like I said, before they were being reincarnated, Phage gave birth to the reincarnation of Kuber,
Okay.
or Kuber, sorry. So they also existed before the time of the throne.
Okay.
5 wizards, one for each color of magic. The Numena were the most powerful of their respective aspects. As they grew in power, however, some of them also grew in ambition. The red, blue, and black wizards hatched a plan to conquer Oteria, which is a continent in Dominaria that all the stories about Phage and Jeska and Kamahl
Have been taking place on at this time. Okay.
Relevant because they're all taking place shortly after the Phyrexian invasion, and Oteria was relatively untouched by the Phyrexian invasion.
Is Krosa a different continent, or is it like
Krosa is on Oteria. It's on the continent.
Province
Oh, yeah,
sort of
exactly.
thing.
I
Yeah,
remember
it's the wooded region.
Yeah.
I remember the plane of Phyrexian horrors, and then there was one other plane that we had that was just so mundane next to it. But
Yeah.
I forgot what that was.
Yeah. The plane of Phyrexia was Yawgmoth was banished there and ended up creating a bunch of like horrid mechanical abominations to invade
He
Dominaria.
made, like, fantasy cyborgs.
Exactly.
Sick.
We will talk about Yawgmoth a little bit. He was like the original big bad guy, BBEG, which is big bad evil guy. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons term. Anytime you have like, this is the bad guy, you call him the BBEG.
It's like HBIC.
Yeah, the bank.
Head bitch in charge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's a Mean Girls thing.
I played a really bad mobile game that you were trying to take down the HBIC of the high school.
Okay.
It's like, oh, are you just a high school girl trying to become HBIC?
Yeah,
Hot girl
and every,
school.
every time you had to like go like face off against her, it's like, do you want to spend 20 gems to get the good outfit, or are you going to wear that plain Jane thing from last week? And then you have to spend money to appease your peers.
Does it turn into like a Candy Crush thing? Where like the actual battle is just like Candy Crush?
Oh yeah, like around them.
Yeah.
I played 30 minutes of it just to see what it was, and
You're never going to be head bitch in charge that way.
No.
You're going to be more head bitch ambitious.
Yeah. You gotta up your head bitch game, my dude.
Yeah.
No more waiting third in line to speak. So the red, blue, and black wizards hatched a plan to conquer Oteria. The first step was to kill the other two, the white and green Numena, which the three were able to accomplish with
Two things we don't need.
relatively.
Leaves, don't need sunlight.
Yeah.
Get the bitches out of here.
Yeah. White and green are typically regarded as the most traditionally good colors.
That would make sense.
Black is like death, traditionally considered like very evil. Red is kind of like super ambitious,
Chaotic.
like to any extent like you'll go. Blue is very neutral, where it's like they worship intelligence. So like you can be evil, you can be good as long as you're smart.
that trope is like in a lot of fantasy, like those colors and stuff. Like all of World of Warcraft, or the dragons all have aspects and which are similar colors, and they almost
Black is
match.
Deathwing, green is Ysera. It's like
Blue is the magic one that just prays intelligence.
Malygos.
Exactly.
So with the nerds out of the way, the three wizards spread out in Oteria, conquering all the lands they touched until none was left unclaimed.
Nice.
The black, whom we've talked about, was named Kuber. He was worshipped as a god of commerce and would eventually be reborn as the child of the Cabal Patriarch and Phage.
Okay, I was going to ask if it had anything to do with Kamahl City.
He was worshipped by the black of the time.
Yeah,
he was worshipped as a god. He will die and need to be reborn.
God of commerce.
The new the most evil thing you can imagine.
Yeah,
right.
Just like this big fat dude walking around with a monocle and a cummerbund.
The Numen of Red was named Averu, and he would eventually be reborn as a city, the very city where 3-1 would be killed millennia later.
Oh.
So the city that they were in was called Sanctum. Its official name is Averu, but everyone just called it Sanctum.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
The Numen of Blue was known as Llewellyn, and he would later be reborn as the illusionist Ixidor.
Oh.
Sounds like in a trailer park name at first. Llewellyn.
Llewellyn, yeah. Llewellyn Moss.
He's a main character in No Country for Old
Men.
Men.
Yeah.
Well, main character is debatable. I'd say
That's true.
Anton Chigurh is probably
That's
the
true,
main
yeah.
character, but
Is that a spaghetti western?
yeah.
No.
That's a spaghetti name, Anton Chigurh. What do you think Anton Chigurh is in Mexican?
Anton Sugar?
Amigos.
I know sugar is azúcar.
Azúcar.
Yeah. I have to say it like the Duolingo sounds, or else I don't know.
Yeah, so
Azúcar.
the blue Numen was reborn as Ixidor. It's kind of muddy. Ixidor is not the reborn. They kind of split when Ixidor went to go grieve his wife.
All right.
Okay, so he left that part of his personality behind to go live in Imagination Land.
Exactly. He hatched Llewellyn and let him emerge from him as his own thing at the end of it all. So of course, when the three most powerful people in Oteria conquer all there is to conquer, they probably settle down and call it a day.
No,
right?
they want to conquer each other now.
What?
Oh,
Peter,
yeah.
did you read my notes?
No.
That's very-
How could you guess that?
I could write magic. It's easy.
You could. World building is super, super cool. A lot of the individual storylines I have a lot of problems with. And I guess I should have front-loaded with this one. But like this episode, Karona in particular, there are so many inconsistencies in her story.
Okay.
So like there's so many different novels that it's like she did this, and another novel that explicitly say like no, she did this at the same time, and they're both considered canon. So it's like like everything that I say today, one book might say the exact opposite, another book might corroborate me. This is fully Lore Boys canon. This is the Lore Boys through thread on the story.
Some big dick author one day is going to want to like remove Ethan's episode from canon at some point and make us like some sort of like off-brand bullshit.
Yeah,
Do you know much about the actual authors? Because I know, like, in other fantasy games, like, there's one author you can turn to, and then the company agrees, oh, this is kind of canon. What are they write?
Wizards was publishing these novels.
Okay.
Wizards of the Coast, they used to do it, and I think they're actually starting to do it again, but anytime a new set would release, they would release a novel with the set.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And, like, you used to be able to, you would buy a box, and you would get a book with the box.
Oh, cool.
And that would kind of like tell you the story. So I guess we kind of talked about this on old Magic the Gathering episodes, but somebody might not have listened to them. Magic comes in blocks, which is usually four or five sets, and they fit a theme and they tell a story. And then like every 3 months or whatever, every 2.5 months, they release another box, which tells like a bit more of the story. So there was like Shadows over Innistrad. There was the battle for Zendikar, which were like the Eldrazi waking up, and then there was the Oath of the Gatewatch, which was the Gatewatch forming, and like that all led into Shadows over Innistrad.
And we did talk about the Gatewatch.
No.
Yeah, we've talked about the Gatewatch before.
But just so you know, that fat guy, the commerce embodied that you guys were talking about earlier, he's the same guy who made the model for these blocks.
Yeah.
Because you got to sell those new cards.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Cards.
Yeah.
Which is like any card game, honestly.
Yeah.
So Peter was right. In their greed, the Numena turned on one another. Though even they weren't prepared for what their magic would bring.
Who knew that these ambitious wizards couldn't trust each other?
Yeah, right.
Imagine that.
In their birth, they gave birth to the being they called Mother, the living incarnation of magic itself.
Karona.
Oh,
Okay.
God. I was picturing like an abomination, like pushed together with all this...
Yeah.
Mother.
One like blue tentacle, one like tree arm, just a big skull for a head. Part of it's on fire.
Yeah.
She's actually pretty cool looking. She's just like a tall, lithe woman. She has like this helmet on that is kind of like it's kind of like the bat symbol upside down, and it like stretches out from her face as like her helmet, and it like covers her eyes.
Sweet.
Okay.
And she has like these little circles hanging from it, and she carries 2 like halberds.
2 halberds.
Spin to win, baby.
We've talked a bit about mana costs before. Like with Phage, she was like 3 black or 4 black and then 3 colorless,
Right.
something like that. Numena is 1 colorless, then 1 of each color.
Okay, cool.
So she's supposed to represent which is like it's converted mana cost of 6, which is less than Phage, whose converted mana cost is 7. But she's much more expensive because you have to get 1 of each color, which is much less reliable to do.
Yeah.
Right. Is it kind of like Hearthstone where if it's a 4 mana cost character, you can expect to play it as soon as turn 4? Or is it like you can get 4 mana on turn 1 and just go crazy?
You can, it's like way more than Hearthstone. You can, especially in like formats like Modern,
Yeah.
there's one deck which is an infinite mana combo which you can hit on 2.
Okay.
So you like second turn, you have infinite mana, and then you get out Eldrazi Abomination, you win on turn 2.
So
or win on turn 3.
Mana can be super dynamic then.
Yeah, way more than Hearthstone.
Okay.
Way more. There's infinite combos, there's all sorts of stuff.
Okay.
But absolutely, typically you play green if you're doing that. And like if you're playing a 5-color deck, which are hard to play because they're super inconsistent.
Yeah, because there's cards fucking everywhere.
Most of you, well, it's just like you need to have drawn in your, first whatever hands, you need to have drawn 1 of each color of magic of mana, which is like your minimum your minimum deck size is 60.
Yeah.
There's no maximum deck size. The rule is you have to be able to shuffle it with 2 hands, your deck.
Okay.
But you never want a bigger deck unless you're playing something really specific and janky.
Because you want to be reliable, right?
That's it. You want just the cards that you need to get your stuff off.
Yeah.
If
there's a 5-card combo, you want to only have to go through 60. If you're going through 120, it's going to take you twice as long to get there, right? Yeah.
So Karona is all 5 colors to represent the fact that she is the living incarnation of magic.
Does she have like multicolored hair that burns different colors, or just
No, there's nothing. She's gold.
Okay.
Is like Sweet. What is her all colors kind of thing. The Numena knew instantly the danger she presented. A baby standing stories tall with all the power of Dominaria flowing through her.
Fuck me, yeah.
They realized that they needed to stop her before she realized her true capabilities.
Is Rick Moranis in this one?
Yeah, that's it.
Honey, we blew up Karona.
Yeah, that's it. Honey, I accidentally combined all forms of magic and created an unstoppable killing baby.
Baby stories tall. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So they formed a truce. They managed to subdue Karona before she came to fully understand her powers. This was at the cost of their own powers.
Push down on the top of her giant head.
Yeah, find that soft spot. Yeah. This was at the cost of the Numena's powers, and perhaps less importantly, their lives. I say less importantly because, as we know, I kind of buried the lead here.
They got reincarnated.
They're going to get reincarnated at some point. Now,
I hope I did good enough to come back as a city.
Yeah.
You will, Ixodor.
Yeah. It was a Averu.
Averu, sorry, yeah.
Meanwhile, there's this babbling, crying baby story way above them.
You guys ever see the show?
It's a baby. It's
Super Jail.
Yeah. Super Jail was a great show.
Not Super Jail. It was a similar thing. China, Illinois.
Okay.
Similar animation.
Yeah.
At some point, it's like about a university in China, Illinois, if that's even a real place, and they accidentally at some point bred, again, like a 200-foot long baby. That was aging at like a wicked rate. So they eventually had this like kilometer-long old man on campus, and that's what that reminds me of.
Oh my goodness!
So oh man, we're gonna need. You see the baby, you're like, we're gonna need one hell of a plastic bag. Now, some millennia later, Karona was being reborn.
Uh-oh.
Not as a result of powerful magics being wielded for war, but of 3 disparate, powerful planeswalker sparks being torn from their bodies by a legendary weapon. Not the Mirari sword.
Oh.
He's wielding Soul Reaper at this point.
Oh, this is the axe of the green people.
Yeah, it's after he gave up the Mirari because his friend Stonebrow was like, his centaur friend was like, dude, you changed since you got that magic sword that grants every wish. But
take a nap for a year,
see
horribly. How you feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he went off to meditate, right?
He went off to meditate for a year, and he gave up the Mirari sword and ended up taking up the Soul Reaper, a powerful weapon in its own right.
But no ironic punishments.
No, conveniently. Except his sister being reborn as a horrible god as the living incarnation of magic. I don't know. Is that ironic?
Is that ironic? I don't think so.
And then killing her?
I mean, I would say...
No, he killed her first. She fused with
I would say it's ironic because his explicit intent in killing her was him realizing he couldn't save her and she was too dangerous. So he went to kill her to stop her from being so dangerous and turned her into something infinitely more dangerous.
Right.
Infinite.
I guess that is,
Yeah, that's got to be. If that's not irony, I don't know what is.
Well, shucks, Kamahl, you just can't catch a break.
Yeah. Karona's very existence tormented her. She was plagued by the question of her life's meaning. The chaos Karona caused stemmed from that need to discover her place in the greater scheme of things. Karona refuted her role as magic incarnate, reflecting her more human traits such as fear, greed, and even ambition. Her vanity was stoked as nearly every creature, human or beast, worshipped her utterly when she came across them.
What is Karona? I picture like Chroma, like a multi-headed dragon.
She's
described her already.
She's a person. She's gold. She wields 2 haliburns.
Oh, that was her. Okay, that was her. Okay, gotcha.
Karona assumed
multi-headed dragon.
Yeah. There's a 5-color card that's a multi-headed dragon called Progenitus in Magic the Gathering. There's a free little lore tidbit for you.
I'll take that one and nibble on it.
Yeah, take that to the bank. It's worth nothing. Take it to the bank, they'll laugh you out of there.
Play a card.
Yeah, that's it. I'd like to make a withdrawal. Could you enter your PIN? You just pull out 5 different colors of mana.
Yeah, and now, and you tap one of them.
Yeah.
I was imagining it on the screen, just like blue, green, red. And like a bunch of magic cards come out of the machine. Good ATM.
Karona, I already read that part. Karona assumed, due to all the worshipping and groveling, that she had become a goddess, though she was not nearly as much a goddess as a primordial force of nature. She was like, people worship me. People worship gods. I am a god. Ergo. Oh, that's Latin. That's good. Yeah. That's something a god would say.
All she really is...
She's learning Latin.
She's really just a hurricane, right? Like really powerful for now, but
we'll see. And there are gods.
Stand directly underneath her, you never get hurt.
Yeah. It has a name. What's her name again?
Karona.
Last year was
Tropical Storm Karona has been upgraded to hurricane.
Yeah, that's it.
Has been upgraded to incarnation of all magic.
Yeah, it seems there's limes flying around inside of it.
Limes?
Yeah. Karona. We made that joke a lot last week. Yeah.
So she's like, I must be a god because people worship me. There are gods of Dominaria.
Yeah.
We'll get into one that really matters when it becomes relevant.
Well, that seems like you're a little biased on knowing which gods really matter.
Well,
but
maybe that might be a relevant point.
yeah.
Karona, believing she was a goddess, sought out someone her equal, a tutor who might be able to show her how best to use her new powers. She opened 5 portals, one for each color of magic, though none truly her equal strode through. Representing white came Teferi, who we spoke about on one of our when the rifts first opened, we talked about Teferi. He plane shifted his entire city out of the realm to protect it from a rift.
Right.
So he has a mechanic in the card game which is plane shift, which is like it's like phase out, or I can't remember the exact term, but it's like you basically phase it out of play, so like nothing can target it. The cards essentially aren't there. So
okay, cool.
You might have like an instant effect. Somebody might cast a spell that's like, I destroy one of your lands, which sucks if it happens. And then you might have an instant effect, which goes faster, that you say like, okay, I phase it out of existence. And then it phases back in on the next turn.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Teleport behind you or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's it. I teleport to the Shadow Realm and I teleport back in the next turn.
Run over, tackle the tree. Get down, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, kid. Nothing personal.
Yeah, nothing personnel. Yeah. Lowelin strodes through the blue portal.
Oh, yeah.
Our boy Yawgmoth strodes through the black portal.
portal.
Listen to our invasion episode for more on him. A dwarf named Fierce for red, who is like, remember how I said there's a lot of inconsistencies with Karona?
Yeah.
Like Fierce's entire existence is just like a huge inconsistency, and like every single book has him doing a different thing at the same time. It's like a big fuck show.
You've got a picture of him at the fair, and you've got a picture of him coming through the portal.
Yeah.
For the same day, and nobody knows
Marty
what the fuck's going on.
McFly's messes up his parents' existence at some point, and then he just disappears. So,
He messes up playing.
Then he invents rock and roll.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And it is.
He had the book for all of the Blood Bowl winnings and all that.
Yeah.
He bet on Phage for centuries.
Yeah, that's it. Made a living.
Yeah, the what was it? The Blood Pit Almanac.
Yeah. He bet against Irox. What's his name's wife?
Nivea was her name.
Oh, yeah.
For men.
Yeah, exactly. Multani was the green one. He's a tree folk person who's a pretty well known green character. Multani.
Okay.
She met with each in turn.
Sounds like sparkling water.
It does kind of sound like sparkling water, or like some kind of like cured meat. Like you got your prosciutto, you got your Multani, you got your. Yeah. She met with each in turn, though truthfully they did not have much to teach Karona that she did not already know. The meeting with Yawgmoth, however, did leave Karona with a healthy dose of paranoia.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so meeting with like the number one most evil person in the multiverse. Especially when you're at a conflicted point in your life, you're like, what do I want to do when I graduate college? You know, like I just don't know. My degree just doesn't seem like very practical right now. Like, what am I going to do?
I learned that if you slap enough meat onto these old robots that come back to life, like they're unhappy and they scream and they're very dangerous, but it works.
Yeah, thousands will die.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
Meat robots.
Yawgmoth explained to Karona that there was only one god in Dominaria, Gaia, and told her that Karona's very presence was damaging to Gaia. Yawgmoth told Karona that Gaia did not want her and would not allow her to continue living on this plane. So it's like, hey, guy known for lying and deceiving and hurting people all the time. What do you think about this? Oh, well, I think this other person probably is out to get you. Oh, damn, I better fuck this other person up.
Yeah.
Well, I don't trust her all of a sudden.
That's a very good argument. Yawgmoth.
Yeah. Yawgmoth. How are the warts and flesh robots coming?
Yeah.
Oh, they're coming pretty good.
Fine. Still crazy? Still crazy.
Karona, believing Yawgmoth's words, decided that if the gods would not accept her, she would destroy and usurp them.
Dang.
It's a plan.
So what's our boy Kamahl up to during all this?
He in a sad sack of shit, probably.
Well, he's killed 3 women.
He was there. He created Karona in some way. He's Karona's daddy.
He's probably gained
in some ways.
weight.
He's Pappy.
Yeah, let's say he got his dad bod going on now.
Pruning his neck beard.
Yeah.
Unless he's turned his life around, and he's working on his dad bod. He's fishing.
That's it. Yeah.
He's building a pier.
He only gets to see her on every second weekend.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Guys, just by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm growing some nice neck beard because I had to throw out my razor because I got in the airport. I had to throw it out.
Okay, yeah.
And so now I don't have a razor right now. And
got that World of Warcraft
subscription.
I got a WoW subscription and a neck beard.
The WoW aesthetic going. I got you.
Yeah.
Nice.
I showered before coming here for you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is the last time for the next 15 days.
No, Kamahl creates this horrible cyclone that explodes into this horrible god who people are starting to worship her. She's magic incarnate.
Is he
She's
dead?
very, very dangerous. Is he dead?
Yeah.
No, he's still alive.
The explosion didn't kill him.
No.
He's a man.
He's a man,
silly.
Peter. You think a
Yeah.
woman could kill him?
You
Come
think
on.
a cyclone named after a lady?
Yeah, that's
I
it.
don't think
I
so.
don't. I never killed a
Not
man
today.
before. No. Meanwhile, he sees what happens. He's like, oh. Remember how I said he was trying to stop Phage because she was too powerful? He sees Karona. He just goes, oh.
Oh, I made a mistake.
Yeah, that's it. Classic man trying to fix something, making it much, 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 much worse.
But he realizes he's done something wrong.
Yeah. So what does he do?
Tries to bang
Tries to
her.
kill her.
He seeks out another man for advice.
Good.
He seeks out Ixidor.
Oh,
Laid low by grief, Ixidor met with Kamahl, and the two discussed defeating Karona again. They decided that if the Numena had been able to do it once, they could do it again. Kamahl convinced Ixidor to contact his master god, whatever you want to call him, to conscript his aid in once more defeating Karona. So Llewellyn met with Karona, gave him whatever advice he gave her. Like, yeah, being a god's all right. You know, this you got to watch out for this. You know,
don't trust Yawgmoth.
yeah, that's it.
That's a big one.
You gotta make sure you lay down good guidelines for what kind of offerings you want. Otherwise, they'll start killing each other in your name. It's really fucking weird.
It's like, where do these people meet?
It's like I eat off that altar. Stop killing virgins on it.
Where do people meet for this stuff? Like,
She opened portals that brought them to her.
oh, wow.
In magic outer
To like
space.
Yeah,
To like a nice brunch place or like,
Yeah, why not?
yeah, that's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure Karona has access to one. One of her worshippers is obviously like a great guy who runs a great little brunch spot.
Make some great
It's
eggs.
2:15, so she pulls in a brunch place from another plane where it's 11.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's different time zones or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, there's Eastern space time.
Yeah, exactly.
All that stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Llewellyn, with the reborn Averu and Kuber, agreed to the plan. He was like, yeah, we've seen this song and dance before. Dangerous last time. Probably still dangerous.
Especially now that she's confused.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's fallen in with a rough crowd of
Well,
cyborgs.
especially now that she's much less baby-like and suddenly seems to be very maturely dealing with getting a grip on her powers.
Very tough skull.
Yeah, yeah. I keep pushing. Nothing happens. I pushed her out of her crib. She cried, but she didn't die.
She just stepped out onto her long adult legs.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I put her to sleep on her face.
Yeah, that's it. She came out all right.
Yeah.
So the three of them agree to the plan. They conspire to defeat her once more.
Oh,
Karona
no.
chased Llewellyn, her multitudes of followers, like a tsunami in her wake, crashing over cities from which the Numena fled.
That's a funny image of people. Like, imagine being on the top of the tsunami.
I picture it like, and this is a niche call for Jamie, but the Teniscowry from the Malazan Book of the Fallen.
Right.
Just like all these like poor, despondent, very ill-trained, but like, we'll fucking fight to the death for our god, baby.
Yeah. Their whole thing is that they starve the whole army, and their reward is when they kill things, they get to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
they're
Lord.
very desperate to kill everyone and eat them, but they're all like sickly looking because they just eat whatever they kill.
Very, very early 20th century Soviet peasants. Peasant vibe.
Yeah. There you go.
Karona arrived above Averu, the city /Numena /god /something. I don't know. It's not clear what form he's in. Is he person or is he just the city? As she arrives, a towering force of magic manifested as reality. Karona herself, a towering force of magic, manifested as reality.
Okay.
Her followers tore into the city, but as she approached, something caught her eye. There, in the sky, above Averu, was a dream-given flesh, a being to match her, a kindred spirit, it seemed.
Oh, he can imagine things into reality.
There's boy,
Ixalan,
Llewellyn can.
Well, yeah. There you go.
Ixidor. Ixalan
Excuse
is the vampire dinosaur plane.
It's
Never mind.
Kamahl and Ixa whatever just in like a suit.
Yeah, yeah. Llewellyn on Kamahl's shoulders, like, oh, up here, Karona.
You look great today.
Yeah.
Long coat.
Yeah.
Gee, boy, honey. Sure was a crappy day. How about you make me dinner? Stop this rebellion business.
A dream made flesh. Yeah.
Yeah, just a quiet supper.
Man, there's a man in the sky, so she's got to stop whatever she's doing to go look at man, right?
Yeah.
The being told Karona its name was Aryan. calling for her to come closer, and more human emotions welled within the goddess. A sense of belonging and understanding were hers. All she needed to do was reach Arian. This was, of course, a trap.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't actually her soulmate suspended above the city in the clouds, appearing from nowhere at the precise moment when she's trying to defeat her greatest enemies.
It was a trick on her loneliness.
It was a trick on her loneliness. It was preying on her loneliness. The woman was hysterical. She needed a man to fix her, and even she realized that.
She's wandering around the plains while her uterus wanders around her body.
Yeah, exactly.
She's just gone completely ballistic.
Yeah, that's it.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah, that's I'm pretty sure.
I was listening to a story.
Seems to be how it was written, at least.
History podcast on like the invention of bikes and trains, and all doctors are like, women's uterus would not be able to handle these speeds.
Yeah.
They can watch the men go on these things, but they cannot go on.
Like
I don't know if you thought Peter was joking, but like wandering uterus was a thing that doctors believe.
No, yeah.
For any listeners at home.
I'm bringing out the extra to that. I'm
Yeah.
not disagreeing with anything.
No, I was just saying.
I didn't make that up. That was like something that people believed when they used to just get prescribed cocaine and
and meth. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you climb that 4-foot ladder onto that bicycle.
Yeah,
Your uterus is gonna wander.
Yeah, exactly.
You're to leave it on the ground. It's gonna be very difficult.
Your uterus will end up in your feet. You'll have children with stumpy legs. You don't want that.
Yeah.
Get over here. Let me feel your head to see how you're crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, put little pincers on them
Yeah.
for phrenology.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you could never ride a bike.
Yeah. Drawn to Arian by inexplicable forces, our earliest 20th century woman suddenly found herself at the center of a vicious assault from the three Numena. The trap had sprung, and she was pinned, struggling and unable to move, unable to free herself or protect herself.
Is she still gigantic or no?
Yeah, relatively.
Okay.
Hey.
The three Numena had her, and it was only a matter of time before she succumbed. Karona endured seemingly endless barrages from the three wizards, much of her power being melted away from her.
What, did the big imaginary guy just throw a big fucking net over her?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, oh, why don't you come in here? We have dinner, and I just cracked a giant bottle of wine. And she's like, ooh, and then just like throws a big fucking net over her.
He grabbed her limply by the wrists, and she was just, no, I can't move.
Oh, damn it!
Yeah, you're too strong for me. Imaginary man.
Like a 20s movie.
Exactly. Her salvation came from our boy, Kamahl.
Oh.
It was Kamal's idea.
Well, his sister's in there somewhere, right?
His sister is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
He birthed her so he can take her right back in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've killed my sister twice and created her 3 times.
3
now?
times? I don't. It's muddy.
Yeah.
Kamahl saw the truth of the Numena's plan. They had created Arian as a vessel for Karona's powers, a vessel that they could control at will. So he saw that they had created. Arian was, like I said, it was a dream made flesh. So it was given an actual body, and it's like, oh, here's this patsy man who can.
We've established this as a few people can create things from their imaginations or
Exactly.
dreams.
Well, Ixodor was the one who did it, and
Yeah.
he was the Numena Llewellyn rebirth.
But that was also the guy who made his fears real.
Chainer, the dementia
that's
summoner.
it.
Yeah.
Chainer, yeah.
So
He sounds like really like the first boss you meet in a game, not the last one.
Yeah.
You know, Chainer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not a final boss. That's not a BBEG.
No, he's not HBIC, definitely.
No,
Hell
definitely
no.
not. Definitely not the hot bitch on campus.
That's not what it was.
Yeah,
Head
sure it
bitch
is.
on Chainer.
Yeah. So the Numena were basically like, well, the last time we did this, we lost all our power and we're dead for thousands of years.
I don't like that.
Surely there's a better way. And then they were like, okay, well, we can siphon our power off into our guy. He's a good guy. He's married to my cousin.
We imagined him
We imagined him.
as a good dude.
That's it. He's one of the boys. Boys club. We'll scratch his back, give him life and power, and he'll scratch ours.
Boys nuts. Boys thinking it. Yeah.
So Kamahl realizes this. He sees like, hey, I said we should get rid of her, not just put her in another body that you could use for evil. So he intervenes in the attack, adding his own magic to banish Karona rather than killing her.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. That sounds powerful.
That axe is fucking wild.
Yeah, right? Karona awoke in the blind eternities.
Sounds like you wake up and there's just darkness all around you, and no matter which way you walk, it just goes on forever.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a big empty white space. Yeah.
It's ketamine.
Oh.
Ketamine?
Yeah, she's K-holing.
Oh,
She wakes up in the blind eternities. The space between the planes, like phlogiston from Spelljammers,
Oh, yes.
The Blind Eternities are filled with chaotic energies such as aether, mana, and temporal energy. So anything used to travel through time.
What's aether? Is that like anti-magic?
Aether is like gas. It's like methane. It's kind of relevant in some of the expansions. Like there's where Chandra's from, Kaladesh, the plane that she's from. It's like a city of like, it's kind of like steampunk, but they use this fuel called aether. Instead of like steam, it's like a blue gas that they burn.
We talked
create
about
stuff.
this, I think.
I've probably mentioned aether before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much
that
we got into
steampunk town rang a bell. But
it's not.
Yeah, well, we talked about Chandra.
okay.
Yeah, it's not super important. The important part to note is that like she's in this place between the planes of swirling energy. It's this plane that planeswalkers have the ability to survive. That's what.
Oh, when they go through it.
When they travel to different planes, they have to travel through the Blind Eternities.
Oh, neat. Okay.
This is the danger between the bubbles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the going outside of your apartment thing.
Yeah,
That's of.
It's the street between your WoW cave, the depth with the Mountain Dew,
And the Hot Pocket palette.
and yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Uber Eats is a thing now. You never have to make that trek.
Man, I wanna get
I
some
can
Uber Eats
order like
Uber
enough
Planeswalkers?
iced coffees for the week and never leave my
now.
station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, lost and afraid, Karona wandered, exiting at random to a plane, only to be branded a heretic in league with some minor local faction. She flees once more.
Like the Monsters Inc. stores.
Yeah, exactly. The first one she gets in, they're like, "Oh, there she is. She must be one of the rebels." And she's like, "What the fuck's going on? Like, who are you people?"
No.
She's like Forrest Gumping, like opens up a door, like JFK's there. She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh,
exactly.
sorry."
Yeah, she plays ping pong against Nixon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the second shooter. She was the grassy knoll.
Again, back. Yeah, the grassy knoll is like a land card.
Yeah, exactly.
You need 2 green, 1 grassy knoll to draw your fucking
Karona falls your second shooter.
Yeah.
But if
Or
you
your
get-
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, if you get a Lee Harvey Oswald and the grassy knoll on the first turn, that's an instant win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you end your turn with this in play, and the opposing player has a card named John F. Kennedy in play, and immediately end the turn and begin Cold War phase, like
Yeah. Like you have to make sure you have that card with the fish bacteria and the
Jellyfish poison.
Jellyfish poison.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
If you have JFK's second head, you can actually make the turn change, but like your opponent won't know. But yeah, there's a whole JFK episode we did at some point with where.
at some point.
Yeah.
So she hops for a time between the planes. There is a chronological order of it. It's not super important.
Just looking for directions, basically.
She goes from plane to plane.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's one book where it's like her traveling to different planes. I don't know if she goes to that many. I read about 4. She hops for a time.
Maybe there's 5. Ooh.
2 travelers had come with her when she got banished.
Oh.
2 of her followers, 2 of her most powerful followers. 2 people named, or 2 unmen, they're called. Sash.
Even the things that we don't know what they are, they're still based around men.
That's it. They're important enough to be men.
Yeah.
Well, we can't let her travel alone through the Blind Eternities without a couple of men with her. Well,
No, it's dangerous out there. Well, what if the ether tears you to pieces?
Yeah. Label these weird zombie robot things men, and we'll call it a day. Sash and Waistcoat were their names. And
Sure.
And they're traveling together through the multiverse.
All right.
Eventually, the trio were approached by someone named Serra, Serra, in her realm. She was a super powerful white planeswalker.
Okay.
She basically creates an army of angels that can fight throughout the multiverse to like protect it and protect different realms and stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Damn, dude, that's sick.
I feel like a lot of more people should have done that.
Yeah, right.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's it. You got fucking Chainer creating fucking dementia horrors. And, like Sarah's like, I'm gonna get some angels.
We
out
need
here,
to trap
boys.
the manifestation of all magic. Yes. What about if we just had a very tall man with a net?
Yeah.
Which will be, for the record,
artwork.
at least at this point, the
The
artwork.
artwork. Sarah explains that while their intentions may be peaceful, Karona's very presence was chaotic, and they could not remain in her relatively calm realm that they had found themselves in. So they're like kind of hopping about. They hop to one realm. They're like, she's a rebel. Like, get her, boys. She hops to another realm. Maybe they're like, oh, well, we're all fucking our sisters over here. You're not welcome. And then finally she ends up at this realm. It's like, oh, cool. There's islands. You know, she's like, steps out onto an island. It's subtropical, you know.
There's a bunch of bionicles around.
Nice. Yeah, that's it. Some bionicles crash a fucking ship onto the island. It's wild. And then somebody shows up at some point, a planeswalker, and is like, yeah, you're kind of like poison, and I don't want you here.
When you walked in.
The HBIC shows up, and she's like, yeah, you're not welcome here.
You stopped the tides and caused many earthquakes.
Yeah.
So we're going to need you to leave.
We're going to need you to go, okay.
Or you can spend 20 gems to show that head bitch in charge.
Your clothes are like rags. Why are they all gold? Like, it's very... very not good.
Oh my god.
So yeah, she says like, you guys gotta like
causing issues.
Yeah,
You're
that's
too
it.
strong.
You're causing issues.
Get the fuck out.
Karona explains to Sarah their plight, and the planeswalker was sympathetic. After musing on the...
She's just like, I didn't mean to come here. I was like just like cast between dimensions.
I'm literally a refugee.
Yeah.
And you're white aspected. You have angels that fight for good all across the realms. Why are you turning away refugees?
Yeah.
After musing on the issue some, Sarah suggested that Karona look up Urza. He, after all, had similarly unintentionally caused great damage to the multiverse in his efforts to protect Dominaria.
You sure did. We have a whole episode about that.
Yeah.
What
is he just a head now, or does he have a body?
He was ahead for a while.
Right.
Now he's behind.
Good night, everybody.
Boop, boop, boop. I don't know when in the timeline this is. He eventually gets a body back, but he is just ahead for a while.
Yeah.
I like how you have to look him up too. Like, go look up Urza. Like, how do you get in touch with people?
Yeah,
in
that's
the
it.
Planes, like,
like an infinite multiverse, like just yeah. It's
having
hard enough with 7 billion people, right?
And time becomes such an issue too.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So like I'd said before, Dominaria is the central plane in Magic the Gathering.
Right.
Everything branches out.
All the planes are powered by ley lines, which are like lines of magic, and they come to a hub in like any two lines of infinite length, if they're not parallel, will eventually meet.
Yes.
They all meet relatively at the same point that is Dominaria.
Don't they have like a temple above like the cross section or whatever?
A lot of stuff is built on like different like where ley lines cross.
Yeah, okay.
In Zendikar, which I mentioned earlier this episode, which we talked about before, where the Eldrazi, the Lovecraftian horrors, one of them, Emrakul, was awakened on from where she was sleeping on a ley line, basically.
Okay. Man, now I'm curious how ley lines are made. Are they like old-ass ancient worms that just kind of like tunnel these holes through the aether from plane to plane and things like that?
Maybe.
Damn.
Tweet at us if you want us to hear us talk about ley lines on the Lore Boys brand podcast, TMTM. So Dominaria, all magic flows through Dominaria. All roads lead to Rome. All magic leads to Dominaria.
Good.
She is Dominarian magic incarnate, and she is not there right now. Okay. So, like, throughout the multiverse, magic is a little squirrely at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Similarly to when Urza set off the Silex Blast and created all these rifts and ended up having to encase Dominaria in 12 different shards to stop it from splitting apart. The shards of Alara, which we've touched briefly on. We haven't done the whole story of that, but maybe someday.
It all sounds very familiar, but it's been like a year since we...
Exactly, which is why I'm kind of mentioning it. So she says, look up Urza. He did something similar. He was also trying to do good things for Dominaria. And
here's his number. I don't know if he's still there, but somebody will know.
So Sarah also reminded Karona that she was Dominaria's magic and that Dominaria was her true home. Karona was not convinced. She was like, yeah, I could go home, but I don't really feel ready to go home yet.
Why is it that the one person who told her, like, yo, man, Gaia, she's coming after you, fucking Yawgmoth?
Yeah, and she's just like, oh, yeah, that sounds about right. And then, like, this nice
everybody
woman,
else, yeah.
literally surrounded by angels, just like, oh, yeah, like, honestly, I think you should go home. Nah, I'm going to keep backpacking through Europe for a bit.
I don't know if I buy it.
That's it. I'm not ready to forgive my dad for selling my car after I crashed it.
Wait, what?
Wait, what? That's like a thing a 16-year-old girl would do, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
selling your car for scrap.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get the copper out of it.
Karona was not convinced. She decides to continue traveling. She ends up at a plane of bright metal, and she was welcomed by a man.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Don't trust a man.
As Karona approached, the man explained he was Lord Macht, creator of this plane. He actually says, I'm a servant of Lord Macht, and she can see through his ruse, and she's like, no. You are humble. I can tell that you are the lord of this plane.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Get off it. She's supposed to be happy. Like, oh, you're humble, not a fucking liar.
Yeah, yeah. She was like, oh, you're being a good guy. She says she embraces him, but I don't know why she knows who Lord Mocked is. I couldn't suss that out, and there's good reason for that I'll get to in a bit.
You've got me extra sensitive to the men getting whatever they want.
I know, yeah. I mean, honestly, when I was doing the research, when I was doing a lot of this writing, especially the last episode when Kamahl kills the 3 women with one swing of his sword, or one swing of his axe, that really bothered me, and it's been hard for me to parse that. And I'm sorry for anybody listening who's like, okay, stop bragging on men already. It's like, yeah.
We're kidding, whatever, fuck.
We're kidding, whatever. And it was just like, there was some like really poorly, cringily written
beats in there.
Yeah, exactly. In this whole story.
It's old lore too. It's a different time when it was written, right?
Yeah, it was like 10 years ago. The mid-aughts were like
the climate,
so
the
different.
Stone Age of 2009.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Lord Mock says like, hey, I see you. I've been watching you from my bright metal plane. I see Dominaria's plight in your wake, and I want to help.
Right.
Does she believe him?
I think you should go home, Karona. I think you should go home. And this is me, a man, telling you to do it. And she's like, you know what? Strange man that I just met in this shiny metal realm.
Yeah.
You're right.
That lady with all those angels didn't buy it.
No, I didn't buy it when she said it, but you're right. I think I should go back to Dominaria. Yeah. Would you open me a portal? And he's like, sure. Opens her a portal. When she arrives, the ley lines kind of right themselves.
Oh, good.
Maximum magic overdrive. All this fucking power suddenly flowing through her because when she was out of Dominaria, she was cut off from a lot of her power.
So she wasn't the same kind of hurricane god when she was walking
She
around.
wasn't such a tempest.
Whenever she took the ley line back, she hit the wad of toilet paper or whatever was clogging it up, and now it's all just...
It was literally, yeah, she was a heroin addict. She'd been shooting up for years. She tried to get clean. Then, 5 years later, she goes back and she just full overdose.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the second half of Train Spotting or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She goes completely mad. The powers of her homeland rushing back into her after all this time.
Uh-oh.
Drives her crazy.
Oh, no.
Sends her uterus all over the place.
Exactly.
My Karona.
Hysterical.
Just sends it spinning in there. Whoop, 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 whoop. She gathered those who praised her as an army, and she struck out to conquer Otaria, destroying entire cities in single fell swings.
Holy shit.
Finally, all that was left to defend the realm was Kamahl, flanked by the Numena, with the Mirari sword once more in his hands.
The fucking Mirari's back.
The fucking Mirari sword.
Oh,
that's a
give
bad
it up, Mirari.
Oh, yeah.
It seems the mysterious Lord Mocked had reached out to Kamahl to urge him to take it up once more. This guy who, Karona shows up in his realm. He's like, I think you should go home. I think good things will happen if you do. Calls Kamahl and says, hey, Karona's coming home. Grab the Mirari sword. And Kamal's like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Where did you say you were calling from? I don't recognize the area code.
Yeah.
After he gives her the advice, he just turns around and his head kind of goes down, shadows around his face, and he watches her leave through the metal wall next to him or something.
Jumps into a metal painting like Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
So Kamahl, flanked by the Numena, is there to greet Karona. Eventually, she's gathered her arm. She arrives back. Everyone's like, "Fuck, she's back. She's worse than ever. She's more PMSy than ever before."
Oh, incorrigible.
She's got the hysteria.
Yeah, exactly. So she gathers all her followers. She's conquering Otaria. She's like, you know what? I was right all along. I am the only one fit to rule this place. So it's Kamahl, the Numena, the Mirari sword. Their stand was to be in vain as Karona came into her powers. She killed all 3 Numena with one mighty spell.
Oh, there you go. She gets her revenge. Did the same thing.
And Kamahl unwillingly bows to her, disarmed
Scorching ray.
and unwilling to fight. So just her presence, her magic, manages to force him to bend the knee.
Fuck it.
To her. For his part in the opposition, Karona decreed his death. But she wants to make it slow. You know what I mean?
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We're going to make a show of it. Ironically, it's the 2 friends Karona had truly trusted who betrayed her.
Sash and
waistcoat.
Yeah, I was gonna say sash and new shoes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say slippers.
Yeah.
Sash and housecoat.
Yeah.
There we go.
The 2 unmen pierced Karona's belly with the Mirari sword as she sought to strike down Kamahl.
I knew the Mirari had to be tied into it. Yeah.
Both men were acting under advice from Lord Mock, who then arrived and revealed his true form. Lord Mok,
It's Yawgmoth.
this whole time, had actually been Karn.
Karn.
Oh, I remember him.
So anybody at home who knows Magic the Gathering and somehow doesn't know the story will be like, oh shit, Karn's here.
It's Kaiba.
Super well-known card in Magic the Gathering. He's a powerful time-traveling construct created by Urza.
Shit.
So Urza, in all his tinkering with stuff, trying to prevent the rifts from destroying the world, was looking into time travel. Silver is the only element which can time travel and not be destroyed in the process. So he creates a silver golem named Karn, who can time travel,
Which was explained the Metal Realm.
Oh.
super powerful. The plane was Argentum, the plane of mathematical perfection, and Karn was the one who had created it. He explained that
Nerd.
he explained that he had created probes to go out and monitor Dominaria, as it was his first home, and he still wished it to succeed and prosper.
Aww.
So he still had a soft spot for Dominaria, even though he went to create his plane of mathematical perfection. He was like, yeah, I still want to make sure that home life is good. I want to make sure Dad, the head, is being taken care of.
Yeah, I'll donate
his nursing home.
I'll donate to the school. I'm not going to live there or nothing, but...
Yeah.
With my realm made entirely out of silver, I could spare a couple of pennies on Halloween.
Exactly, yeah.
One of these probes was defective, however, and had warped to become the Mirari.
Oh.
So Karn had created it, realized what was going on, perhaps too late, because he, I don't know if he was seeing, the live feed of, the tsunami, which wiped out half the continent, or the horrific monsters of abomination, which were coming out of this guy's head, or, all these other things. But he was at some point, he, got back from his coffee break. He's like, oh, shit, this is not going well.
This got away
back
from
down,
me.
Yeah.
400,000 emails, that's odd.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just delete anything older than a month.
Yeah. He created the Mirari by accident, which is kind of weird. It's like a probe that turns into a wish-granting machine.
Kind of like a warped Sputnik.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit, yeah.
So he had created it. He realized the problem, and he was like, I gotta make this right. Karn is super powerful. His card, the Planeswalk, he's a Planeswalker. One of the best Planeswalkers in Magic, I would say. In most longer formats, he's colorless, so you don't need... We were talking about how hard it is to get 5 different colors of mana. You can literally use any color of mana, it doesn't matter which kind, to pay for Karn kind of thing. And these powerful effects. He ends up taking the Mirari Sword and saying, I'm gonna take this home with me. He ends up turning it into another super powerful artifact card called Memnarch, which is an artifact creature. It's colorless as well, but it has blue abilities, activated abilities. So it has 2 abilities. One of them is turn target creature into an artifact, and the other one is gain control of target artifact.
Holy shit.
So it's literally, they're relatively expensive to pay for.
Okay.
You have to pay to use the ability.
What's it look like?
It's kind of like a 4-legged, super long-legged spider kind of thing, I guess, but it's an artifact. It's a robot.
Yeah, I figured if it was made out of the Mirari.
Yeah, that's it. And it's made from Karn, who's an artifact himself. He's an artifact planeswalker. And,
cool.
That's Spanish for meat.
Karn? Well, it's
Pretty
carne.
much.
Carne,
Yeah.
Chili con carne.
So the Mirari Sword was removed. Karona regressed to the 3 women whose deaths created her, finally settling into Jeska with the manifestation of her planeswalker spark.
Okay, so she's fine now.
She's back to Jeska now.
She's been through a lot.
Yeah. Like I said, originally the plan was to get into her closing the rifts in Dominaria and stuff. I think I'm going to move away from the storyline for a while because it's been 4 episodes and I could probably do another 6 episodes on it. Because, but I've had a lot of fun researching it. If you guys liked it, please reach out and let us know. But that's the story of Karona.
It's pretty crazy.
False God.
I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, if you guys want to hear me talk about Karn sometime, there's a lot of stuff there too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He was friends with Teferi for a while, or was it Teferi? I can't remember who. He was friends with someone, and that someone used to call him Baldy all the time because he's a bald robot.
Okay. Yeah, well, you can't grow a lot of hair on a robot.
You can't grow hair on a robot.
No.
I do really like this.
My dad always said.
I do really like the stories that have just a couple characters and simple beginnings and then coming into these crazy, powerful beings.
Yeah.
That's the type of stuff that I'm more interested in than the ones that are already powerful and then just meet each other.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I like the Genesis stories.
That's
for
it.
sure.
This is really like less the world building, more like these are the stories of novels kind of thing. So it's like there is like, oh, you know.
Well, we just started with like a guy from the forest.
Yeah, exactly.
Who was just like, I'm gonna go make something of myself.
A
It's
little,
like, cool, see you
literal
later.
barbarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Touches a monkey's paw, kills 3 women. Eventually, this monkey.
Don't turn me into the sun. Like I won't. I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Karona, False God. That's our episode today.
Cool.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. For anyone listening at home, if you did enjoy it, if you didn't enjoy it, reach out to us. Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know what you like, what you don't. Let us know if you want us to record anything else. We got Dungeon Gundam coming up at some point.
Yeah.
We have Doro Hedodoro, or I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing that right.
Pillars
but
of Eternity.
Pillars of Eternity at some point. Yeah, these are all on the list.
Arcanum was the other one. That guy from Norway wanted us to do an Arcanum episode.
So these are all on the list. If you have something else you want us to do, please reach out to us. I'm at Ethan the Deadman. You can find the podcast at Loreboys or theloreboys.com. Loreboyspodcast at gmail.com.
Yep.
You can find us twitch.tv/theloreboys, although we're not on all that often these days. Unless you want to watch Jamie streaming World of Warcraft, but he doesn't have a working computer that can do it right now.
Getting there though.
Getting
there.
Pieces.
I could fix my computer, but that would require me to stop playing WoW to fix the computer.
Yeah.
So
Fuck that.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Once I get stuck in the queue, my computer will get fixed.
Yeah. Peter, where can people reach out to you?
At Pete O'Donohue on Twitter and at Loreboys Podcast on Instagram.
And Jamie?
Yeah, I recommend all these lore people to make a character on WoW Classic, the server Incendious, and we'll run some dungeons together. I can carry you probably by the time you get in there.
Yeah. Just tweet at, look us up on Facebook or tweet at us, and
I'll play with
you with your BNet stuff. DM us, whatever, and Jamie can play with you. For anyone wanting to support the show who doesn't trust those filthy rats at Patreon, because we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/theloreboys, I think it is.
Yep.
We always have Loreboys Prime for the listeners at home. So if you guys want to get in, support the show, not have to give any cut to the capitalist fat cats at Patreon, this is for you. Every 2 weeks, you're going to send us $7 in the mail. And I just bought a boat, as you guys might know, or as the boys do know, because we spent some time on it.
We were talking about naming it.
It's a sailboat. It's called the Ass Full of Seamen.
Yeah.
And
so the ASS full of semen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But seamen spelled seamen. You know,
like the men
SEA.
from the sea.
Men from a boat, yeah. So anybody who wants to come for a ride on this ass full of semen, just give us $7 every 2 weeks, and you'll be invited out to the party boat. It's a good time.
It's
you know
pretty
what I mean?
wild.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta wear a sweater over a collared shirt though, or nobody's gonna fuck you.
Yeah, no, full yacht club attire.
Oh, yeah.
You only get like a 200 millisecond ping out there, but you could still play WoW with me out there.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Thank God.
Yeah. Jamie's got hotspot set up on his phone. He's got the mobile tethering going on. Oh.
Burning through data on a bunch of burner phones.
Yeah.
Just like, aw.
Yeah, and
Throwing them overboard.
and we do go to international waters, if you know what I mean.
It's really hard to pick a server from
Yeah,
international
that's it.
water.
Yeah.
EU, NA, I'm not sure. But, yeah.
And I guess that would constitute a Lore Boys out.
Bye. 4 parts, dude. We did it.
We did it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's clear.
Was that clear? I'm not sure that came through in the episode. Honestly. You probably should have talked.